Hi, I'm AJ, and I don't know how to work a flip camera. Actually, I don't even know where it is. It's kind of gone. I've never touched it before anyway. Alright, for those of you who have sent their thoughts out for me and all the words and all of that, thank you. I am not entirely better yet, but I am good enough to do this and work tonight, so here we go. First story of the day, which is actually a throwback to yesterday with Felix Baumgartner doing the longest jump ever. It's supposed to be today. Well, that's been canceled. Now, it's not indefinite or anything. It's just weather problems, weather whipped up out of nowhere. New Mexico. When does that happen? Anyway, they're still looking forward to it actually happening. The link we're actually going to give you down in the description will link you to a constant update of what's going on. It will happen, just not yet. The next story is a throwback to something, well, we've never actually covered, simply because I never could. Fortunately, right now I'm sick, so my anger levels are forced to stay low. Or maybe that's unfortunate, I don't know. Either way, Jerry Sandusky, that whole case. If you don't know anything about it, you may not want to look it up. Rapist, child molester, that kind of guy, was sentenced to 30 to 60 years today. It's all done. He's going to jail. It's going to happen. He is old enough. This is a life sentence for him. I don't think he's actually going to last very long, even though they're going to put him in like low security and with non-violent inmates. I don't know. I'm usually non-violent, but I can turn pretty violent when you're creep like this. I'm not even going to cover how he's still saying he's innocent. Ugh. Let's get off planet for a bit. I don't like people. Ugh. Let's head up to Mars, to the Curiosity rover. And I was driving around and saw something shiny. I was like, huh, well that's new. This is a really dusty planet. Let's see what the shiny thing is. Well, NASA looked really close to the pictures. They took picture after picture after picture. Turns out, well, it's a piece of plastic from the Curiosity rover. This may or may not be good. We're not sure. It doesn't seem to be anything essential right now. It's still running, but they're still, examining it. They have no idea where it came from, but it's obviously from the Curiosity rover, so we'll keep you updated on whether our favorite little robot on Mars is going to keep going or not. So back to Earth, North Korea again. Oh man, I can't believe they haven't declared war on us yet. We've actually looked. So recently, the United States has allowed South Korea to extend the range of its missiles. So, people are like, haha, this could revamp up the war a bit. Who knows what's going to happen? North Korea responded by saying, well, our missiles can reach the United States. What? Really? What about the last one you launched that, crashed in the ocean? Just a few miles away from your shore. I don't think, maybe they think the United States is just like a few miles offshore. I don't know. Either way, Kim Jong-un, you're an idiot. Now for something completely different. Well, a lot more serious. Remember a while back with the whole Libyan ambassador dying, we talked about the couple Navy SEALs, or former Navy SEALs that were there? It turns out Mitt Romney had actually met one of them. The first Navy SEAL that was named, Glenn Dougherty, actually lived close by to one of Romney's houses when Romney stopped by one time, accidentally crashing the party, thought it was the neighborhood party. Turns out, no, it was just a family Christmas party. They let him in anyway and said, yeah, come on, man, have a drink, whatever. And he met the guy. Turns out they had a lot in common. Really started talking about it. And so when he heard the name on the news, as he said, absolutely devastated. Now, it was just confirmed recently that it was actually him, but it's one of those things, you just kind of know who it was. So amazing he could have this kind of connection. Now we're going to switch back over to Texas, my home state, unfortunately this time, wherein a school is catching a lot of flack for, well, tracking its students with microchips. Now, they're not embedding it under their skin or anything. And this actually started a little bit ago. We may have covered it. I'm not sure. I'm sick. Anyway, they're catching flack now because certain students that decided to opt out are now reporting that they're being verbally abused and kicked out of major school activities simply because they decided to opt out. Now, these students were actually told originally that the cards they were originally given, just certain specific IDs, would be good for their entire 4 years, are now being told, nope, can't be used at all. It's useless pretty much. So really, this is kind of creepy to me. And besides, it's absolutely useless. I mean, a kid just stows his cards somewhere on school property, and it still could be truant if they want. This is not going to help truancy at all. I don't know what's going on in their heads. And so for all this negativity, I want to leave you with something positive right here at the end. Nothing real big, just a small story about a guy who climbed a mountain recently, unnamed mountain just happened to be nearby. He's like, hey, I want to climb it. Found a little film canister with a note in it. All it said, this belongs to Tim Taylor. Climb this mountain this date. If you find this, send a letter to this address. The guy tries to contact it. He figures, hey, why not? Couldn't find him. Nobody knows what had happened to him. He eventually just puts the story on the news, which news ran. Guess a little news day or something. Well, the message got through. The man, who was 13 at the time, 53 now, is now actually a Superior Court judge and was told by friends that, hey, look, you're on the news. Anyway, they got into contact with each other and then really just kind of passing that notes back and forth. Now, this is just amazing. You'd be able to find somebody after all this time, after leaving just a little tiny film canister. Turns out, like I said before, the peak's never been named. They're actually thinking about naming it together. And it's just absolutely amazing. This is so cool. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me on Extraordinary Times. Like if you liked it over there, favorite over there, subscribe up there. If you're watching on YouTube, please watch on YouTube and share us with your friends. I mean, this stuff is amazing. This stuff is wonderful. And who knows, they may actually be able to help us make it better. In fact, if you hadn't noticed recently, we're actually linking each story down in the info bar to each separate time so you can just watch certain stories if you want. That was thanks to one of our newer viewers. So, thank you, Will. Anyway, last of all, please remember to always be aware. What's his name? No. Ah. It's a place.